Oh, right. I'm sorry about that. Look, I see the stream stopped. I don't know why that happened. I got logged out actually. That is weird. But let me just pick up where I left off at with this AOC vid where, and then I'll let people come back in. But those that can find the stream, I'm sorry about that. Right. But yeah, so again, I'll just say this one more time. I don't know why the stream cut off, but it ended. So now this is the next stream. I don't know why it did that. It just did it for some reason. But in any case, so this is the follow up. Now, where I left off was AOC, and she was saying something that was very very interesting about her ideas about Trump and why also this politic thing, like when you're a representative, who you serve. So let's just hear this again.
If Trump believes that if you don't vote for him, he doesn't have to be your leader. That if you didn't vote for him, that you don't deserve good things to happen to you.
Right. And I think this speaks to also my views about how I see politics in American. Like at some point, whether you're MAGA, at some point, whether you're Democrat or liberal or whatever you are, Republican, at some point we have to get back to the gist of where we understand it doesn't matter who the representative is, from what party. There's some basics that they need to understand about what it is to be a representative. And that should be that although you might have a certain perspective, you're still serving all Americans. Like your interest is to make all Americans' lives better, not just one type of American or not just the type that you feel you are, right? Because to be a public servant, you're getting everybody's tax dollars, even if they don't agree with you, right? So when you're a Republican representative, you're still getting liberals' tax dollars, right? Every hour that they go to work, you're getting some federal tax dollars from them, from their payroll taxes. So you should still be trying to improve the quality of their life. And there's some basics, no matter if you're Republican, Democrat, healthcare is one of those things. Whether you're Republican or whether you're Democrat or independent, every American should understand that healthcare in the richest country to ever to have existed on earth, ever, healthcare should be a right, not a privilege. The United States is way past those days of where, there was poverty. The United States is not a poor country at all. It's getting a lot of the share of the world market until Trump came into power, right? Way more. And every other nation that is less powerful and has a smaller GDP, they tend to service more of their population with the basics like healthcare. And they don't gaslight their population and make their population feel that, oh, even though you pay us, like Maga Mike Johnson, for example, it's the taxpayer who pays his salary. It's literally your money. You're the one that goes to work so he can have a job. If you didn't go to work, he wouldn't have a job, Maga Mike Johnson. If you didn't go to work, Trump wouldn't have a salary. If you didn't go to work, none of these people, nobody would have a salary. So every representative, whether they're Republican, Democrat, Independent, whatever they are, if they're a public servant, the first thing they need to understand is their job is to improve your life, the taxpayer, from all backgrounds, right? And if they're confused about how to do that, you need to go out and look at the different groups of people that live across your country and understand them better. But healthcare and education is a no-brainer. Everybody needs that. Fair housing is a no-brainer. Everybody needs that. That's good for blue states and red states. That's good for straight people and gays. That's good for black and white. That's good for long hair and short hair, male and female. Show me a woman that doesn't want to make a fair wage that's Republican. Show me a woman that doesn't want to make a fair wage that's a Democrat. Show me a woman that doesn't want to make a fair wage, that there's an independent, and I'll show you a goddamn slave or a fool. And it should be the same message to men. Show me a man that doesn't want to make a fair wage. Show me a, independent or whatever, straight or gay, black or white, Asian, whatever, Muslim or Christian, Jew or whatever. Show me one that doesn't want to make a fair wage. So these should be things that all parties understand in the United States of America, since you're getting paid from people's paychecks, from different backgrounds, from different parts of the country, right? From different genders, from different colors, from different ethnicities, from different religions. You're getting a piece of everybody's paycheck. So those in civil service, those should be the basics. You know what I'm saying? Those should be the basics. But let's just go back to what she's saying here.
I don't care if someone voted for me or not. I don't care if someone is a Republican or an independent or a Democrat. I don't care if someone likes me or not. That will never change the fact that I'm going to fight for them to have health care. I want MAGA to have health care. I want MAGA to be paid a living wage. But he doesn't want people who are Democrats, or he doesn't want people based on their political affiliation to benefit. And that is the difference between a strongman and an authoritarian and a leader of a democracy. Trump believes that if you don't vote, we already know, and this is a common lie that Republicans have been repeating, that this shutdown is about Democrats trying to provide health care to the undocumented. And we already know that it is federal law and federal statute that undocumented people cannot be covered by the ACA, they cannot be covered by Medicaid, they cannot be covered by Medicare, period. That is the law of the land. There are plenty of federal laws on the books. Now, the vice president has been trafficking this other misconception, saying that the emergency Medicaid program is providing health care to undocumented people. That too is a complete, just, I don't even know, whole cloth storytelling, we should say. The truth of the matter is that we have a federal law, as it should be, that any person who walks into a hospital in desperate need of medical attention receives that medical attention regardless of their insurance status and regardless of who they are. And I don't know about you, but me as a human being, I don't want to live in a world where if a human being is struck by a car or is getting rushed into a hospital, that the people in the ER surgical room are asking for your insurance information or asking for documents before they
this thing about this healthcare, this is a serious thing that's going to have serious effects, and already is having big consequences. But because it does have something to do with vaccinations and things like that too. But let's keep in mind again, when they're saying, undocumented immigrants or illegal immigrants are getting access to healthcare, they're tricking people, because what they should be using is more concrete and full language that really lets you know what the problem is and where the problem is, where it is. Not just that you have a problem with illegal immigrants getting access to healthcare. That shouldn't be the only aspect that you would want to look into. You should want to know, okay, so where is that happening in the healthcare system? And notice Maga Mike Johnson and them, they never tell you where. And this is where American citizens need to wake the fuck up. Again, you're giving Elon Musk loads of your money every goddamn day, and way more money than he will ever give you. You're giving Elon Musk. And so the where is this. Let's say any citizen, whether they're MAGA, whether they're liberal, whatever, Let's say your families go all the way back to the colonial period. So you've been here, you've been fighting for the country, you've been struggling, you've been paying taxes, all of that, right? You've been, your family's been dying in wars to protect the country, all kinds of shit, right? You. Okay. So if something happens to you per se, like you're outside, you get robbed, somebody shoots you, takes your wallet because they want your money and runs off. Someone says, "Hey, call the ambulance. Somebody just got shot. Hurry up, please." The ambulance comes. Do you want the ambulance trying to find your ID first? Do you want the ambulance literally there? The person that's supposed to save your life, the emergency caregiver, the person that's coming, what do they call that? The emergency, whatever those people are, right? That show up, the first on the scene. Do you want them to try to find your identity first if you've been shot, bleeding? What if you can't talk? What if you've been shot in the mouth? What if you've been shot in the neck? What if you have another situation, you can't breathe? What if you're choking? What if you're having a heart attack? What if any of those things, just for some reason, do you really want the person who's picking you up in the ambulance to try to find out who you are, to confirm your identity before they give you life-saving help? Is that what you really want? Because that's what these Republicans are calling immigrants, illegal immigrants. That's what they're talking about. That's one of the things that they're talking about. Here's another thing. It's not just healthcare about, how it's going to affect you is it's affecting other Americans, because just because you didn't have your ID on you doesn't mean you're not an American citizen. Just what if the person robbed you? What if you fell off? It could be numerous reasons in an accident why you don't have your wallet. First of all, like straight up. It can be. What if your wallet was in your glove compartment and you got in a car accident? Or you had your wallet on this car seat and you got in an accident, and the accident is real bad, and the wallet's a small thing. It falls down into the floor. The front of the car is squished up. The people have to come and cut you out of the car. Cut you out, literally, because the car is that smashed up. They get you out. Right? Or what if it's your child? You want your child to carry their ID on them, their 4-year-old child? What if it's your baby? There's a whole lot of reasons. Then there's this thing about vaccinations, right? Don't you want everyone to, even if it's not a vaccination, what if it's something else, some other sickness? Do you want somebody to have a sickness spread by another person, that they get? And just because they don't have access to a doctor, they're carrying that sickness around you. And just because they don't have access to healthcare, they have no way of knowing, and you actually get it. Do you want that happening in your life? Is that how you want to live life? You want to live life on the wild side, on the dangerous side? And today is the last day to not want to know, for people to not have access to healthcare, because it could indirectly save your life. You see what I mean? Like, just making sure everyone else is healthy can save your goddamn life too, indirectly, in so many ways that you can't even count. And if you don't have enough knowledge about this, then you should get more before you allow these Republicans to just lie to you and tell you, oh, healthcare is like, illegal immigrants getting healthcare. Yeah, okay, sure, that's what it is.
Or is it commitment from the White House and Republicans enough?
No doubt.
Let me ask you a question. You, anybody in the chat, do you want the ambulance, when they come to an emergency, to you personally, do you want them to find your ID and confirm who you are, your identity first, before they take you in the ambulance, or before they give you any life-saving treatment? Do you want them checking for your ID first? Do you want them first to have an ID and confirm your identity before they give you any help? Put 1 in the chat if you do. Put 2 in the chat if you don't. Let me get everybody's input on this. Put 1 in the chat if you want the ambulance to make sure you are a citizen first by checking your ID before they resuscitate you. Yeah. Or before they do anything. Just let me know. Put a 1 in the chat if you're one of those people that want that to stop, because You can't have it both ways. You either want them to check for ID at the, on the scene of the accident, or you don't. So if you want them to check for ID, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't, put a 2 in the chat. Yeah, Eric says dose. Exactly. Me too. Dose. I'm going to put a 2 in the chat. Fuck all of that. I want my help, and I don't want there to be any confusion. I don't want somebody looking at me and saying, I don't think he's American when I'm goddamn American. What the hell? Don't be making, you only need 1 second. 1 second could be the difference in whether you live or die. Well, Republicans don't want everyone to receive life-saving care. And that is what they're talking about when they say illegal immigrants are getting health care. That's actually what they're talking about. But they're not telling you this. They're describing it as illegal immigrants. They're not they're telling you the who they don't like, but they're not telling you the what it is. They're just saying health care, but they're not telling you where that is in the healthcare system that they're talking about specifically. So it's very manipulative, because if you are to stop illegal immigrants from getting life-saving care, and life-saving care is health care, according to Maga Mike Johnson, if you don't want them getting life-saving health care, then you are also asking them to check your ID before you get life-saving care. That's the only way you can do it. That's the point. And that's really crazy that they could get away with having this conversation out in the open, but it's only because they're not really having it fairly, and the legacy media is not being good at telling folks what it is. I mean, it's that. And again, I noticed one thing for sure. I want to see people put a 1 or a 2 in the chat. If you want them, if you believe, okay, let me change the question now. Do you believe illegal aliens, undocumented immigrants, should get access to life-saving medical health care in the United States of America? If you believe they should, put a 1 in the chat. I'm going to put a 1 in the chat because I believe everybody should. So also illegal immigrants. There we go. I believe illegal immigrants should get life-saving health care. And the reason why is because I know if they start trying to cut illegal immigrants out of life-saving health care in the United States of America, they may actually be trying to look for my fucking ID too when I need them to save my goddamn life. I don't want them spending any seconds looking for my ID, trying to confirm if I'm an illegal immigrant or not. Okay? Look at this. See, that's the reason why I asked. Send me to says, make UK great again says, send them home. You see, that shows you the diversity in the disagreements. Look at this. Look, this guy says, Jimmy says, life-saving care is afforded to everyone. Payment for those procedures are not on the American tax. Payments for those procedures are on the American taxpayer. What are you talking about? It's our taxes. But what are you talking about? You're crazy. And see, this is the thing. It's all about taxes. They don't want to spend federal tax dollars that they collect from income tax, federal income tax. And they don't want that going out. They don't want Congress allocating those funds. That's exactly what they're talking about. And keep in mind, they haven't been specific at all. They just said illegal immigrants getting health care. They never told you where in the system are they getting health care. But you need to know that they're actually talking about the emergency room. And a lot of that is not even just only federal tax dollars. A lot of that is state tax dollars. Some states have even expanded on it, but that's states dollars. That's not somebody from another state. That's the state you live in. And that's not Congress. That's inside. That's, you can do that yourself without Congress's approval, but in any case, let's hear this.
I mean,
The president, is a very honest man. And if he says something, man, you could take it to the bank.
So you're saying his word is not enough
bankruptcy court.
His word?
to reopen the government?
Oh,
or is
I
a
mean-
commitment from the White House and
Oh,
Republicans
yeah,
enough?
no doubt.
I mean,
The president, is a very honest man. And if he says something, man, you could take it to the bank.
So you're saying his word is not enough?
bankruptcy court.
His word? No.
So what do you need to see? What commitments from?
I think we need to see ink on paper. I think we need to see legislation. I think we need to see votes. And I think.
Okay, so let me ask you all this. How many people believe that this issue about funding the government is going to be finished by the end of this month? If you think it's going to be finished by the end of this month, put a 1 in the chat. If you think it's going to take longer, put a 2 in the chat. I just want to know what people think. I think it's going to take longer, but you tell me what you think. I think it's going to take longer. And I'm going to tell you, I think it should take as long as it takes Donald J. Trump to realize that ICE cannot violate the Fourth Amendment. As long as ICE is violating the Fourth Amendment, I don't think this problem is going to be solved. And there's a few other things. As long as this thing about healthcare, I think the longer you wait, the longer the list of things you're going to have to concede to are going to be. That's what I actually think it is. And because the list is growing, because every day there's wild shit going on. I mean, you might even have to just say this government is not getting funded until Trump gets the fuck and Vance get the fuck out of power. It could really happen. If these Republicans don't come to the table soon, it could be that, because look at how much every day they're doing something else to fuck over the country. So if I was Democrats, every day you come up with some new bullshit to fuck up, that would just be another thing on my list. Epstein files, bitch. You know, we ain't funding the government until the Epstein files are released. How about that? If you think the Democrats should only sign this shit in agreement with the Republicans if the Epstein files are released fully redacted, with only one exception, the victims' names. If you think that has to be done before the government gets out of shutdown, put a 1 in the chat. I'm for that one. 1, yeah. Epstein files 1. Now you get it. Yeah. There you go. 1. Stay in the shutdown until we get the Epstein files. Stay in the shutdown. Yeah. I don't give a fuck what Republicans think either. You know what? It could be your fault or not, Republicans. I don't care about anything else. Just the fact that you could release the Epstein files by now. See, they went back on their word on that. All this other shit they've been talking about, but is also, it's something that should be reevaluated. This healthcare thing is an issue. But look, let's be honest. The Epstein files might clear all this shit up. You see what I mean? Why wait for 5 other things that we all really should have when we could get the job done with 1? Because when the Epstein files are released, Trump is out of here. You know what I'm saying? I think this... come on, shit. Anyway. Oh my goodness, man. Anyway, they should not trust Trump. Trump should not be taken on at his word.
Or is a commitment from the White House and Republicans enough?
No doubt.
I mean,
the president, is a very honest man. And if he says something, man, you could take it to the bank.
So you're saying his word is not enough?
bankruptcy court.
His word? No.
So what do you need to see? What commitments from?
I think we need to see ink on paper. I think we need to see legislation. I think we need to see votes. And I think we need to see these things pass on the floor of the House and the Senate and signed by President Trump. I don't accept IOUs. I don't accept pinky promises. That's not the business that I'm in.
Yeah, them days are over. The IOUs and the pinky promises are over. And folks should just go ahead and say, fuck it. The Epstein files too. Because look, if you have a bargaining chip, think about this. I mean, even though it should not, no one, these Dems should not settle for one thing. It needs to be a few different things. The tariffs, he got to stop the motherfucking tariffs. Stop this bullshit. They're illegal anyway. His behavior should all be examined. But there should be enough things on there to where at the end of the day, no, I think actually, did you, I don't know if y'all know this, but the Democrats don't have to sign shit. Like they can take this can really last indefinitely. There is no period of time where any other branch of government can do anything to make Democrats sign any agreement with Republicans. I hope people realize that. And it's perfectly legal for parties to not agree and for shit not to get done. And I think my personal view is the Democrats may as well put their foot down right here. Go for everything that they think is vital for the country to survive and no less. And no less. But these tariffs, we could see how they're fucking up all types of people. I mean, come on. We need food. People need affordable food. What is, fucking over our farmers going to do for us in terms of the price of food in the country? That's not helping us. None of these tariffs. Look, this guy made tariffs. He did this lie about tariffs so much that the news is now reporting it like his lie. They let him get away with it. I mean, instead of calling him out, every time they should just call every person out that lies. But he literally has people today buying the fact that he can have tariffs. And people are thinking that it's the Chinese paying the tariff. No, it's the American taxpayer paying the tariff. It's the American taxpayer paying the tariff. He literally said, you are going to have to pay more yourself, and we're going to take away your health care. Like, that's literally what's going on. This man has made it impossible for people to live. It's like being in a suicide cult. It's no different than any other suicide cult. Give everything you have and then you die. This motherfucker is a bloodsucker. Like, he's going to continue to suck every last drop. He has literally asked everyone, MAGA, Republican, Democrat, Republican, MAGA, liberal, independent. He's literally asked everyone for every drop of blood they have left. Yeah, this, I can only call it like I see it. And, the day when we have to say,
with
here
regard
we
to
go.
subsidies, remember, that is 100% a red herring. It's a distraction. This is what Chuck Schumer and the Democrats put together to try to make the issue of the day.
He said the issue of the subsidies, that you couldn't hear it. So he said
the cow has jumped over the moon because Marjorie Taylor Greene or Green Taylor.
So he said the issue of the subsidies is a red herring. And it's.
You don't have to listen to any Democrat. You don't have to listen to any liberal. You don't have to listen to any, any natives. You don't have to listen to any African descent, no Asian American descent. Don't have to listen to any Jews. Don't have to listen to any Muslims. Don't have to listen to any, any of that. You can, if you only want to hear it from a Marjorie Taylor Greene, from a Trump supporting sycophant, one who wants to get them all out. Like somebody said in the chat, if you can only hear it from a person like that, then well, hey.
It's something essentially that Chuck Schumer and Democrats are talking about right now.
Well, no, the issues of the subsidies are real. It's not something that anybody can say is made up. Also, people with regular or private plans, their premiums are looking to go up a median of 18%. That's brutal. I know a lot of small business owners, like a family of four, and they're paying $2,000 a month. $2,000 a month with deductibles of $7,000 to $10,000, and approximately 40% of these people don't even use their health insurance. So So they're just burning money just in case they might have cancer, or just in case they have a terrible car accident. And then you've got single moms, many.
Marjorie Green Taylor really is breaking it down, and she's saying things that even went a step further from what I've even heard any Democrats say. And I'm not dissing Democrats. I'm just saying, if you listen carefully, because I don't like her, but see, I'm also the type of person that believes the worst thing you can do is fool yourself. So even though she's a Republican, even though she was a Trump supporter, I still listen to if she's saying something bullshit or saying something factual. I don't agree with her, and I don't believe she knows the facts on many things, and we share difference of opinion on many things. But because I'm even willing to listen to, her views, right here, she said more than even the Democrats have said. What she said, and the thing she said that was more, and her explanation is that she pointed out one interesting fact that a lot of Americans slip on. I don't know why. Maybe some of y'all get it, but the fact that when you pay for health care in the United States, when you're not sick, you're paying for it. When you're not sick. When you're at work and you don't need it and you're not using it for anything, there's loads of people that pay it for not using it for shit. So why is it when you lose your job, you should still have to pay in order to get it when you already paid into some shit that you never got? You see what I'm saying? And that is where the fraud of the whole system displays itself, because not only are you paying more, but that's why you pay more in a lot of cases. So the system doesn't make any sense right off the bat. You're actually paying into some shit when you work, but the moment you lose your job, you got a bitch asses like Maga Mike Johnson talking about able-bodied men, able-bodied men. Well, he wasn't talking that shit when you was paying it and didn't need health care. But what about what happens when you lose your job and you get sick, or you lose your job and someone, you see, that's bullshit. And a lot of the money that they get is from people that are not sick. That's what they're getting. So when you get money from people that are not sick, the people that are sick there should be enough money to go to them. But that's not what they're doing. They're taking that money and then on top of it, charging you more for medication, charging you more for every procedure, charging you more across the board. And now they're going to charge you 20 times to 60%, 20 to 60% more.
Well, no, the issues of the subsidies are real. It's not something that anybody can say is made up. Also, people with regular or private plans, their premiums are looking to go up a median of 18%. That's brutal. I know a lot of small business owners, like a family of four, and they're paying $2,000 a month. $2,000 a month with deductibles of $7,000 to $10,000, and approximately 40% of these people don't even use their health insurance. So they're just burning money just in case they might have cancer, or just don't even use their health of $7,000 to $10,000, and approximately 40% of these people don't even use their health insurance. So approximately 40% of these people don't even use their health insurance. So they're just burning money just in case they might have cancer, or just in case they have a terrible car accident. And then you've got single moms, many Americans that are really struggling that.
Now, so that was the Republican, the Trump supporter, Marjorie Green Taylor, contradicting, and disproving Maga Mike Johnson's claims. That's just what you saw there. And she typically doesn't agree with liberals on anything. But this one thing about healthcare, she actually does. And she even went a step further and said some things I've never heard any Democrats say about the issue, which is real talk. And that is that something like 40% of these people, did she say 40 or 70? I think she said, on some of this stuff, there's a great percentage of people that pay health care and they're not even sick. And then, so therefore, how come you can have a system that's based on people being healthy and paying paying healthcare fees every month. And then if the people lose their job, then all of a sudden they can't get healthcare. Well, they already paid into it. That doesn't make sense. And there's a big percentage of that industry that, that functions like that. And so that's just extra money going to companies that really aren't providing shit for people, you see, and should provide more, but not even that. They're about to charge more people. So let me ask y'all this in the chat, because I like to qualify some of the statements that other people make in the chat by asking everybody a question. And then the chat is on replay. So people, after an hour or something like that, you should be able to come back to the video and see the replay in the chat. So you can also look and see the difference between how certain people answer certain questions. But in any case, so here we go. How many of you want to pay more for healthcare? If you want to pay more for healthcare in the United States of America and you're okay with that, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't, put a 2 in the chat. I don't want to pay more. So I'm going to put a 2. Don't want to pay more for healthcare in the chat. You could put a 1 if you do want to pay more for healthcare. Just, because, again, we have some trolls in here, so we got to be clear about this. We got to ask questions that put the trolls aside, you see? So, all right, just 2 if you don't, and 1 if you do want to see the prices go up. 2 if you don't, Just got to keep it real. Here we go. Now, let's see here. Okay, everybody else can answer, because I see a lot of people say stuff, and then when you ask them to qualify one of these qualifying answers, then they drop out a little bit. Don't want to answer a simple question. Want to say all kinds of shit, though, in the chat, And then you ask them, do you want a simple question like that? Do you want to pay more for healthcare or do you not? Then all of a sudden, no answer. Just don't want to answer that. But I have my whole philosophy about all kinds of shit, and Hillary Clinton drinking baby blood on Epstein Island, and why it's okay that the Epstein files don't need to be released. Those, they got a lot of work on that. So in any case, so let me see here. Let me see here. All righty. So, yes. So folks had that. Now, back to Miss Caroline, Lion-ass Caroline. Let's see what she got to say real quick. She said something pertinent here I wanted to discuss.
Place. We know that the Trump administration has previously said that they are in armed conflict with the people that the administration is striking. Who are these people? And don't you think not only the people, the American people, but lawmakers deserve
narco terrorists who are trafficking drugs?
Okay, so now she's saying, she's saying that these, we started off talking about Venezuela, right? But, and other, just American, what it is to be American and that kind of thing. But in any case, then went into Venezuela. But now this is where I'm going to end again. This Venezuelan thing, she made the excuse that this is, they're killing narco terrorists. But where's the evidence, y'all? Like, where is the evidence that this is what they're doing? And if you don't have the evidence, that automatically fucking means you don't know. And if you don't have the evidence and you're out here in the public making statements like she's making, then I'm saying if she doesn't have the evidence, then it means she's lying. But the only way you can know whether she's lying or telling the truth is by providing the evidence, right? So right now, nobody knows if they're telling the truth, right? And it's also quite obvious that a lot of people believe, because the media's been saying it, they've been asking a question, they've been putting the same question forth, saying that where's the proof? How do you know? If everyone's dead, how do you know? How do you know? And they've been ambiguous about it. The Trump administration has not really answered that now. But that's what she's talking about there. Let me see here.
the administration is striking. Who are these people? And don't you think not only the people, the American people, but lawmakers deserve
narco terrorists who are trafficking drugs illegally to the United States of America. That's who we're in a conflict with. And the president's been very clear, and he's been very transparent about these strikes, releasing classified video, unclassifying that video, declassifying.
Well, the thing about it is that when you kill people, you're not bringing them to trial. So none of these people have been adjudicated as narco terrorists. There's not even a name been put forward. You know, how do you know somebody's a terrorist, but you don't have their names? Like, since when is killing people okay and you don't release their names to the media, and you kill more than you kill one, then you kill another, and you kill another? Don't any of these people have identities? Okay, now put a 1 in the chat if you have seen a media outlet share the identities of these people, and tell me what that is, if you don't mind. Just 1, and name the media out, or tell me the media outlet if you've seen any story about the identity. I mean, and I'm talking about a reputable one. I don't mean some weird website somewhere where, you know, people just make up names or whatever, right? Let me see. We have proof, though, videos or criminal record from. No, there's no proof. It's not published. And if you kill terrorists, you need, at least they knew who Osama bin Laden's name was. You can't just go around killing people. You can't make claims. You know, once you go into killing people, you need to have names. You know, it's just that simple. Once you start killing people, you need to have some more of a description, not just it was a narco terrorist. That doesn't work, especially after one time. Come on, how many people can you let be killed with no identity told to you? You know, that's some Nazi shit right there. You know, that's what makes the difference, when someone knows, you know, when you acknowledge what you're doing and who you're doing it to, you know, you can't just everybody. If you know that someone's a terrorist, then you know their name. You can give a name, you see. And how many terrorists have they claimed to have killed, narco terrorists? How many, and they still don't have any names? So the bottom line is they don't have any proof for anyone. And there's a story that came out just the other day, in the last 24 hours. I think the last ship that they struck, which is why this general actually stepped down. Let's see here. This general right here just stepped down because of this incident. And right. And right, this is 2 days ago. During this incident, around this incident, they said that they found out, or right after they found out, that the last boat that they struck, there was one survivor. And so they're going to find out that the story about that survivor is going to come out. And as a matter of fact, let me see something. Should I try to find this right now? Let me try to see if I can find out who the survivor is while I'm here, and then I'm going to head out, see if they had any names. That information is going to come out. And let me see here. Did somebody put the name in the chat? Any identity? Yeah, there's no identity. There's no proof of nowhere narco is a subtitle. Right. Yeah, Carlos, exactly. You don't have proof that they're dead. Look, somebody said they don't. What are you talking about? I'm saying that the news media and not just the news media, but Trump has said that they've killed some people. So that he said that out of his own mouth. I'm not saying I have proof. I'm saying that that's what Trump said, and that's what the media has said. And I'm also saying, but they haven't said the identities. Who are the people? So, that's what I'm saying the issue is. I'm not doubting that he killed some people, but if I'm to believe that he killed some people, then after you start killing people that way, eventually you want to know who they were, just to be able to know who are these people. You know, you can call them. Think of it this way. Think about if it was you that somebody killed, and the government didn't want to release your name or your identity. Who in the chat is okay with them being killed and the government withholding their identity? Put a 1 in the chat if you're okay with that happening to yourself. Put a 1 in the chat if you're okay with the government killing you, claiming that you are a criminal, and not releasing your name to the public. If you're okay with that, put a 1 in the chat. If you're not okay with that, put a 2 in the chat. I'm answering for myself, and and Yadapoon, that doesn't count. That's still not an answer. So I'm not okay with that. So I'm putting a 2 in the chat. If the government kills me, I want them to release my name to the public. So there's a chance of somebody who knows me speaking up and having their chance to talk about me too. But if you can press anything else if you okay with it. Anything else but 1 or 2 still means you're okay with it. So if it's not a 2, then it means you're cool with it. Okay. You and put a 1 in the chat if you're cool with the government killing you and withholding your name to the public, and then we'll get it. Let me see something here though, because somebody, Yadapoon, is like joking around here. You can come back later, Yadapoon. You all good, but come on, we having a real talk, and these are things that people need to deal with. If you want to joke about it, because I'm not joking. Nothing I say is a joke unless you hear me laughing and I say I'm joking. But, I'm not joking about this subject matter. My country really is in a pickle, is really having a problem. And I'm not playing games about one thing that I'm saying. I'm not up here for that kind of fun. I'm up here to have some kind of interactive fun that raises all of our, awareness. And hopefully we can do something about this problem that we have, and this collective problem as Americans. And if you on joke time, I ain't got time for you, kid. Beat it. Like, I'm serious about it. I'm really serious about that. I don't have any problem like disassociating myself or blocking you from the stream. I don't like to block people, and I block very few people. But, at least mean what you say and say what you mean. Is what I'm saying. So let me see here. I'm not cool with that shit. I am totally against anyone, this government, my government with my tax dollars or my name, killing anybody without releasing their identity. And you damn sure can't kill 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 people. Come on. That's just crazy, But in any case,
classifying it rather for all of you to see, and to let the public and lawmakers know with each of these strikes. And there should be no surprise for this. The president campaigned on using every lever of power to go after the drug cartels who have been trafficking illicit poison. Sure. He just put out a truth statement. If you haven't seen it yet, I encourage you to look at it. But I was just talking with the president and the Secretary of State and the Vice President, and it was a very good and productive call. It lasted more than 2 hours. There were various issues that were discussed. President Putin congratulated President Trump for solving the conflict in Israel and Gaza and bringing peace back to the Middle East. He also thanked the First Lady for her efforts to bring back children and save children in this brutal.
Right. So right there, she's confirming that Trump talks to Putin and the First Lady talks to Putin directly. And I don't think to most intelligent people are surprised by that. Most intelligent people probably suspect that they've been talking directly the entire time, like every day, like best friends, and that there's more to their relationship than meets the eye. But let me see here. Now listen, just some feedback. Some background on this. The U.S. has not publicly released the names of the people killed when U.S. forces struck the alleged cartel boats. What we know. Multiple recent U.S. military strikes targeted small vessels in the Caribbean. The White House says we're carrying narcotics, or who the White House says we're carrying narcotics. Cartel fighters. The administration has called aboard narco-terrorist or suspect cartel members. Okay. U.S. officials have not publicly identified the individuals killed on those boats or released a list of names reporting notes, survivors taken into custody, but the Pentagon, White House have not published comprehensive identities. Okay. Some outside officials have made claims about nationalities. For example, Colombia's president said One struck a boat may have carried Colombians, but those assertions have been disputed by U.S. officials and have not been corroborated, right? About regarding the identities. Identification takes time. Forensic checks notifying next of kin, intelligence, and operational concerns can delay public release. There are political and legal sensitivities. Different governments, U.S., Colombia, Venezuela, are disputing details, which complicates public disclosure. Okay, well, I mean, that may be all in good, but these, let me see, when did these first attacks happen? When? Let me see something here. I just want to follow up on one more thing here. When did they first happen? Right. So the first of them, the first publicly acknowledged, started September 2nd. So that is about a month and a half. That's a month and a half now, and we haven't gotten one name. So just for reference. Now, somebody said no King's Day. That's right. Listen, sorry about that. Today in Copenhagen, for the people in Copenhagen or people in Malmo, right? If you're in this region, close to Sjælland, 5:30 at Kongens Nytorv, derhen til dem, der forstår dansk, ikke? Så holder man den No More Kings, or what is it called again? No King Day, derhen, ikke? So let me say it in English. You need to go down to Kongens Nytorv, downtown in the center of the city, right off of the damn, I'm about to fall out, y'all. I'm sorry. Right off of the Hound, excuse me. Right there at Kongens Nytorv. You could take the metro there. You could take a cab if you want. There's plenty of buses that go there. You got to find that on your own. But the metro is right there also. So, and you can pretty much access the metro from anywhere in Copenhagen. Now, that is at 5:30, 6 o'clock it starts. People start gathering at 5:30 and then it starts. Now, I don't know what they're doing after. I don't know if they march into the embassy, but that's for people in Copenhagen. And I probably won't be making it just because of my schedule today, but I was at the last one that they did, actually the first No King's Day. And then I was actually at a demonstration before that when Trump first threatened Greenland and Denmark and all of this stuff. So, but in any case, to those people that are organizing that, thank you so much. Every American over here in Denmark supports you. And, Americans throughout the world support you and what you're doing and your sacrifices that you're making for us also. Those sacrifices are also being made for us. So you need to understand, I'm just telling you this as an American living outside of the U.S. I'm letting you know that over here, everyone fucking supports you. Everyone thanks you. You see, and all the Republicans over here thank you too. Like, you best believe that there's a percentage of Republicans that live over here too, live overseas also. And, so I just want to let you know that things are active over here. And, And so, I want to thank you guys again. But in any case, I'm going to check out right about now. I'm going to leave it on this and check out. But I really hope that Americans, particularly Americans who supported Trump, I really hope you guys start looking at Trump not for what he can do to attack someone else, but look at Trump for what he has done for you. And you just need to be real about it. What has Trump done for you that's improved your life? Like, what is it? Has he improved the economy? What is he doing to make your life easier? And if you think he's made your life easier, then just keep going on doing what you're doing. Okay. For me, I'm an American who lives outside of Denmark. Outside of the U.S. I live in Copenhagen, Denmark. I have universal health care. So I go to the doctor whenever I'm sick. My kids have universal education. So whenever they feel like going to getting a new technical trade, going to university, any of that. They get a salary to go. They get a stipend to go. It's for free, right? And then they can work anywhere else in the EU, and they're also Americans, so they can work in the US when they grow up, right? So I just want Americans to think about that. Like, someone who has these things. Oh, by the way, for those that don't know, on average, the average EU citizen or EU resident, after paying their taxes and paying all their living expenses, takes home $1,000 more than the average American in their pocket of their own money. So that's also something else to factor in. You know, people might get confused about the taxes, but you need to know what you get for your taxes before you judge it. You know, it's not just how much you pay, it's what you get for it. Right? Just like anything else. It's not how much you pay to Maga Mike Johnson for him to go to work every day. It's what you get for it. You know, he sent the Republicans home to not negotiate. Okay, that's what you want to pay for, then you pay for that. You know, it's not how much you pay, is what you get. You get Caroline Levitt. You paying for her check. So be happy with that. You get, but me, myself, I don't see how that makes sense. That's collective bargaining, and you're getting bullshit for it. Even the farmers don't like it. You see what I mean? Even Marjorie Green Taylor don't like it. I mean, damn, you really got to go low for her to not like it. And she don't even like it. So again, it's not just how much you pay, it's what you get for it. So you should just start asking yourself, what is life worth if what you get from your taxes you're not really happy with? And if the only thing as an American citizen you could think about is get the illegal immigrants out, I would say, damn, you have a very, like, you really have low expectations for a lot, because the US could be doing way better in a lot of different goddamn ways. Like, woo, you should travel. You should fucking travel. You should travel if you think the only thing wrong with the US is goddamn illegal immigrants, man. Shit. Your healthcare, crime, fucking education factors into crime. The pay wage, like what you get paid, how many hours you have to work a week to get a full-time salary, to get a pension, union job, all that shit. Man, U.S. is behind with that bullshit. I can gladly tell you. And I worked, I worked in the U.S. In doing multimedia, multimedia communications. This was back in 2003, and I was getting like $30 an hour back then. You see what I mean? Like, and what can I say? I mean, there's a lot of people that wish they could get just $30 an hour. In the U.S., the cost of goods in D.C., $60,000 a year ain't going to go do you far. You need two people to have $60,000 a year to just have a regular life in DC. And you may not even be able to really afford price hikes in healthcare, so let alone the rest of the country. I mean, I think a lot of people, what they don't know in the US is what kills them. They don't know a lot about the outside world, and they don't have a lot of data to compare it to know if what they're getting out of their life is comparable to how it rates to other people's lives. And I'm just telling you, as an American that lives it outside, I could tell you American citizens put up with a whole lot of bullshit. We get talked down to. I mean, Maga Mike Johnson talks down to people like he ain't spending your money. Like, you're not sending his kids to school. Like, you're not paying for his health care personally out of your check. You definitely are. But in any case, y'all, I'm out. I'm going to catch up with y'all later. Everybody be good. And I appreciate y'all coming out again. Once again, No King's Day is here. And thanks everybody who's playing a part in that. You have my utmost respect. And please, if you are going to No King's rally, leave me a comment after the video plays, if you hear it later, and let me know where you from, what state you in, and yeah, send me a shout out. So I appreciate y'all. Peace. I'll be back. Sorry for the lateness, and I missed the last couple of days. I've been a little caught up, but I'm gonna get back on it. Peace, y'all.
They want war. Crying babies looking for food. Starvation, the recipe. People subdued. When the people you trust got it in for you. Deceit is the word of the day in every clue. Don't let it go. It's from the days of old. Time is up, but some still do not know. Can I make up my mind? Is it worth the dime? Do I have to take a minute just to make it mine? Life's never fair, but don't listen to the TV. Go out and take a listen to the streets with the people in the slums and the homeless bums with degrees and degrees sitting under a tree. It's not easy in the world for the poor man, the one that brought you to reality. See, they don't want you to know about the black sheep, leaving 7 rows to the 12 families all around the globe with an ancient code. Is it really asking a lot to say a death old? Cause we sitting on the earth looking back at extinct, and I'm standing on some ground that's about to sink. I ain't scared for a minute, I ain't about to blink, but I documented for the world what I see and think. Feel we on the call and up and we on the break. All Congress gonna do is waste paper and ink. Vote or die. You voted and you'll die. You can have it both ways, can't say it's a lie. You can march all you want, but they playing you wrong. They only understand war, it's the same old song. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. War, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. Like a lotus coming out of the mud with colors, I create envy in those with power but jealous. I unify the poor with my song, the hell with the others. Descended the way they treat indigenous brothers. Cause I understand we link forever. They try to hate us even though that we keep it together. I'm not talking about controlling the air or the weather. I'm talking about maintaining the truth, the high endeavor. A rebel drops bombs in the midst of trouble. The free world counterattack and now there's double. But nature gets the shit in a way to settle. If you stop the machines for a minute you might hear, but they won't cause the TV's whisper in the ear. And capitalism has eyes that don't tear, and they cloud up and get crazy and won't stare. And like an ab, it's hard to get an ass to listen. Living like this is like living in prison. It's hard to keep hope when you're living in prison. The spiritual thoughts, so yes, the mental prison. The outside, yes, it's got to get through. Something's gotta die, so something here can live. Your life is nothing if you got nothing to give. Keeping the spiritual, yes, disguised as religion. Controlling your mind, the mental prison. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. War, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war.